Once again, we ask, are these the top stocks to buy? Welcome to part 2 from October 8th. Today we're going to look at Netflix, CGC, GME, AMD, and TRUL. So let's get started.
ChartGuys.com. Become a confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. Let's check out some charts.
Netflix on the daily time frame. Looking pretty happy. There's not too much to complain about. We have shaken off that attempt at 458.60, and we have been setting daily higher lows and holding pretty well. Today's candlestick is a nice inside bar, and based on the trajectory that we see today, I would expect a bull break. Ideally, the market will give us an opportunity to look for a inside bar bull break somewhere. We'll open under 535 ideally, and then look for upside after that. On the 4-hour time frame, you can see that we have 4-hour higher lows, defending those pretty well. Nice hourly trend change into some excitement, and then setting up those 4-hour supports. So on this time frame as well, everything is looking just great. Hourly time frame, looking good as well. We've set that 524.15, we've held, and now we have set that inside bar range. So what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow, a break over 535. I'd love to see us open pre-market and get a nice crack at that level. Right above it, 537. Likely we would take out both in one swift move. If you're going to wait for conservative entry, you'd wait for a break, a little bit of a pullback. Look for that 535, 537 area to act as a bit of support. Catch 5 in a higher low, and then you're off to the races. If we see an inside bar bear break, then we're going to go back to our 4-hour time frame, and we'll be looking for a higher low somewhere over 502.99. So unless the entire market explodes tomorrow, Netflix has a couple of good opportunities, regardless of which way the early morning action takes us. CGC. Okay, so this one, a lot of fun. And for a lot of our members in Chart Guys who hail from the MJ trading in the last couple of years, we started a MJ refugee camp to get the MJ traders into the regular market. I'm with you. This is exciting stuff. And for those of us who used to love to trade MJ, these can be tempting times to dip our feet back in the waters. So what are we going to look for on CGC? And in fact, why don't we do TRUL right after as well? So on the daily time frame, big breakout day. Huge short squeezes. So anyone who has bought underneath this area, basically, you got squozen out. Any shorts, I should say. So yeah, it explains a lot of the action that we've seen today. And that explains a lot of these huge breakout moves. So anyone who's been short is going to be panicking, trying to cover, combined with the fact that there are countless MJ traders who reminisce for the good old days, who are going to be hitting the ask button. You get into a situation where your 5-minute trend just does not give up higher lows. And we can go right to the 5 and we can see that action hold just all day. And basically, except for a little bit of hesitation yesterday afternoon, 5-minute higher lows have been set and held all day, grinding our EMA 12. So bulls are in absolute breakout control. And what are we going to look for as far as resistance? Well, we did talk about just moments ago that daily area. We're well over that on the 4-hour. Let's go look at a couple of items. I see something here at 1881. That seems like a reasonable level for us. And other than that, we are just going to be looking for quick opportunities. So a 5-minute time frame, we have been overbought and grinding for most of the day. If we get into a situation where we see some profit taking, this is what we call a setup for the first blood. And the first blood is something that we look for in these big breakout names who see a lot of hype. The hourly time frame is incredibly strong. The first 5-minute oversold bounce that we see generally gives us a really great quick day trade opportunity. So that's what I'll be watching for in the short term on CGC. Right now, bulls are in absolute control. RSI is overbought at 91.03. If you're looking for an entry and we see 5-minute strength continue into tomorrow, just look for 5-minute higher lows, set your stop loss right on the other side, because that consolidation can come into play at any time at this point. But bulls are in absolute control. And don't doubt the bulls until they give you a reason to. And that's pretty much it. Resistance, 1881. Looking for that 5-minute oversold bounce. Let's get that first blood. TRUL, very similar situation. We go to the 5-minute time frame. We can see that we had some quick excitement on big volume, and we just held a very tight range. In fact, if we go to the 2-minute, we might see a little bit of a trend there, but not quite enough data. Regardless, daily time frame, big breakout, whereas our resistance is up here. at $30.33. Same sort of idea. Huge short squeeze, big bull moves, and just like on CGC, we're going to be looking for our first 5-minute oversold bounce opportunity. Other than that, just look for trends, look for higher lows. You can take your entry to higher lows. Lots of times, let's go back to CGC. We go to our 5-minute time frame. If you're trying to hunt an entry and you are consistently hitting higher lows, higher highs, usually anywhere we get to our EMA 12 is a good opportunity. So what you could do, an example, would be to take an entry against that EMA 12. As soon as we see a little bit of upside, set your stop loss below a new low and just let the market carry you to freedom. GME, Gamestop Corporation. I wonder if this is an earnings play. All right, not an earnings play, but certainly behaving like one. So I'm assuming that there is some sort of fundamental news to drive this hype, and that gets represented here by volume and by this big candlestick. So then we've missed the big breakout. Now we look for consolidation opportunities. 4-hour time frame hasn't given us anything yet. Hourly time frame just starting to see a little bit of a slowdown. So this is where we start looking for a couple of potentials. One potential would be a bull flag setup where we'll see lows, lower highs, lower lows without much follow through. That's really the key for finding a bull flag. Or we can look for a big push by the bears early tomorrow and then a bounce and then setting up an equilibrium. Consolidation can come in so many forms. At this point, there's not a lot of sense in just hitting the ask button and hoping and praying that we see upside continuation. We need to let the market pause. We need to let this RSI cool off. 88.77 is the current hourly time frame. And then we need to get a sense of what the market wants to do. What sort of opportunities do we have? And can we capitalize on those on the hourly time frame? On the 15-minute, we start to see a little bit of slowdown. 5-minute higher lows currently forming. So we go and see those 5-minute higher lows. We lose those, then we will look back. And actually, if we lose those, then we should be in development of our hourly bear flag. Bull flag. Bull flag. What do we got for resistances? In the short term, anything? Yes, we do. Okay. 1690 looks like the level to play. 4-hour. Actually, I'm going to go back to the hourly time frame because I'm curious to see if we had any hourly consolidation or attempts by the bulls way back when we tried to get up there. And that's here. No, it looks like a gap down. So what we can do in that sense is go and grab. I think we're way off now. Yes, we are. Yes, we missed that. We missed that. All right. Let's get back on track. What we'll be looking for is resistance. 1690. Okay, here's the problem. We are in a gap fill. So an area of relatively little resistance, and bulls are in complete control on the daily time frame. Look for that hourly consolidation. The last one we're going to look at today, Amd Daily, or actually 4-hour time frame. We had this beautiful hourly channel. We broke below that channel, back tested it, found this low, and then resumed a new channel. What I am looking at in this area is a little bit of consolidation in the form of a potential wedge. And the wedge is not nearly developed enough yet, but this is sort of early pattern recognition where we're going to go and grab the tops of our greens. And I'm looking for something in the initial phase of a pattern development, in the mid phase, and then I'll look for some sort of correlation, things that make sense toward the most recent action. If this setup was drawn correctly and we saw a big breakout above it and we went right back in, and I still insisted on drawing that pattern, it just wouldn't be correct. And there's no point in doing that. So I don't like to use the most recent action. I want the most recent action to correlate well with a pattern that I think is developing over here. Then what I can do on the downside is try to grab something, see if that makes sense. In this case, I'm using the most recent action and the mid action, and I go back here and I can see, hey, that correlates okay with that. So you can try to use this, and if you really wanted to, you go back and look for that. I don't like doing that because this is still a result of that pattern break, back test, and fade. Now we're into new pattern consolidation. One of the big issues that I find with traders who try to trade visually like I do, you can confuse pattern development. So there are basically, if you want to be really basic, two phases. We have a trend and we have price discovery, and then we have trend. So trends can come in the form of actual trends where you're bouncing in between areas, or you can have consolidation patterns which have smaller trends, or you can have triangles, wedges, cups, handles, scallops, a variety of fun little names. But the point is we get into phases where we have to talk about a pattern. We have to talk about complete random noise, chaos. We have no idea what the price action is doing until it develops into a new pattern. And I believe that's what AMD is doing now. So what are we going to look for in the short term? Continued upside on the hourly time frame, higher lows, higher highs until we break pattern. If we break pattern, I would look for another test of 81 because that will be our key area for probably daily support. Yeah, daily needs to hold that low. 4-hour time frame, anything over top of our low of 83.54 would be okay for a 4-hour higher low. That is it for today. If you have any questions about all of that or any of that, feel free to leave a comment. And if you don't want to comment, that's okay too. You can contact me at support@chartguys.com. But if this video was useful, please do consider liking, subscribing, all of that. It really does help us a lot. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you tomorrow.